A war guarantees two things: dead people and people with dead dreams. I was born in the beautiful island of Sri Lanka, which is off the southern coast of India. And starting in the early 80s, for about 30 years, Sri Lanka was engulfed by a really unfortunate war between the LTTE, the terrorist group, and the government of Sri Lanka. The children born during this period of time were often referred to as the war babies, and I was one of them. At a very early age, I was made to understand that if I were to have a relatively comfortable future, I had to become a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. Any other dream or career option simply felt unrealistic. But I always had this immense pull towards music. I played the piano all the time. I practiced scales every day for my voice. And my leisure reading used to be an encyclopedia of music. But my most favorite thing ever used to be listening to this small cassette tape that I owned of the soprano Kirita Kanava, and simply pretending that it was my voice that soared over this incredible orchestra. And in year 2000, a miracle happened. I ran into an American pianist slash professor who happened to hear me sing during a visit to Sri Lanka. And to my greatest surprise and fortune, he believed in me enough to pave the path for me to attend college in the United States to study music. This changed my life. My parents, however, were cautiously happy for me, given that with a music degree there was not much, or there were only few opportunities back home in Sri Lanka upon my return. But to their credit, they let me go. My much anticipated first day of college as a freshman was not what I had hoped for. The date was September 11th, 2001. I woke up to a dormitory filled with crying and frightened teenage girls. The TV was on, the first tower was already down, and the second fell soon after, and there was more of an outburst of crying. But I was so calm. I practically felt nothing. By the time I was 10, I knew that blood on a tarred road was not red, but looked purple instead. I knew the difference between a gunshot as opposed to that of a small bomb. At school, we had bomb drills and not fire drills. So when 9/11 happened, my numb reaction against the outbursts of others, for the first time in my life, made me feel that I was less than human. It is ironic that this marked the beginning of the healing of a hardened soul. It is also ironic that the very first opera that I ever saw was the one that I was in, singing the role of Pamina in The Magic Flute. So I was on stage seeing my first opera while performing. And it's a basic love story, The Magic Flute, but what struck me the most is that the entire story goes through the themes of conflict between darkness and light, corruption and innocence, good and evil. Somehow, through the experience of dwelling into these themes through music, I began to learn how it is to channel my suppressed emotions into my singing. And thereafter, with every operatic role that I got the opportunity to sing, I learned that it is okay to cry. I learned that it is okay to be angry at times. I learned what it is to truly feel free. Music truly unlocked me. And through all this girl who came from a country which has no opera houses at all found a new home in the opera. And now, when I look back, I know that I tread an unlikely path. But through this journey, I've come across people with the kindest of hearts and those that are the most generous. But wittingly or unwittingly, I do come across those who remind me that I'm different. I have been mistaken to be a cleaning lady. I have been told that I'm born into a wrong body. I have been instructed by a certain opera director to act more third world. I'm not quite really sure what that means. So I have so many stories to tell and so much to emote and so very much to be grateful for. But words often fail to express all that I have to say, so that is why I sing. Thank you.
So the cassette on my tape recorder was Starlight Vocal Band. They had the classic timeless hit that'll rank up there with Mozart called Afternoon Delight. I wanted to give you an excerpt from their incredible lyrics, "Rubbing sticks and stones together makes the sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting